My name is Harj Sandher. The importance of entrepreneurs to be recognized. One, entrepreneurs are wealth creators. And two, um, to be an entrepreneur, you have to have an idea, and then you have to have a passion for that idea and strong belief when hundreds and thousands of people around you dragging you down and saying, what on earth are you doing? You have to have that strong belief. You have to have that dream to say, no, this will work and I will make it work. Entrepreneurs are willing to risk, if necessary, all they have in order to achieve their dream. So I believe that entrepreneurs are the people who make the society work, and with their success, it helps everyone.
Yes, and what you say is so true. We only hear about those who have taken the risks and perhaps sacrificed everything they have at certain points. And then when they, keep on being resilient, it's their resilience that at the end of the day helps them to be recognized. Whereas those who failed to be resilient, and we know like 80% of small businesses fail, that's the general kind of those are the general figures that get passed around. So 80% of those who are entrepreneurial don't succeed because they're not resilient, and they, we don't hear about them because we only hear about the success stories.
The reason I believe they're not successful is I've had a lot of experience with small businesses, and I've tried to help them, but I've seen the pattern why they fail. One, I believe they're not really true entrepreneurs, because they're looking for quick success story. Now, lots of people I've come across, they have a really good idea. So instead of taking a long, steady road and to build everything step by step, they suddenly want everything success now. And for example, if you have an idea and you say you've got one office, you don't see that being successful or building that, having a solid foundation, ready to be able to handle the growth and to be have the team, recruit the right team, and have the team in place for the growth, and to be able to see that as a growth. That's, I think, lots of these entrepreneurs fail because they see they need to have within 1 year or 2 years, not just one office, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they think that quantity of offices or outlets or whatever you want to call it is their success. So when they strive for that, idea is brilliant, but then they can't handle the growth, or they haven't got the team in place, or the finances falls down, workloads get too much, and then they fail. And then if they had a strong enough belief, they'll pick themselves up again and then carry on and restructure and then take a long-term goal.
Mm. Yes, I've heard Sir Alan Sugar say something very similar to what you've just said, because he says that, like, if you are doing a paper round, you shouldn't be aspiring like to be the next Richard Branson. If you're doing, if you're starting off with just doing a paper round, the next step should be opening up a news agency, but not to be like a multi-millionaire overnight. So it's true that maybe some entrepreneurs fail because they are trying to jump too far too soon.
Yes, and I think also it's maybe because they're doing for wrong reason. There's two ways. The successful entrepreneurs, in my opinion, are those who have a idea, have a dream, have a passion, and they want to succeed by doing what they believe in. And I feel that the ones who don't succeed is they don't really have a dream, they don't really have a passion. They may have an idea, you think, okay, that sounds like a good idea, and let's make it work. And if it doesn't, then it just stays there, and then they feel, oh, we didn't succeed, we didn't this. But true successful entrepreneurs don't necessarily happen overnight. Sometimes they risked all, near enough all, and they survived. And they believed so strongly, and they overcome all the obstacles.
Yes, and going back to the the recognition, because you founded the Midlands Small Business Awards for recognizing entrepreneurs for their achievements. Why did you think it was important for them to have recognition? I agree with you, but can you just explain why it's important for businesses to be recognized?
First of all, small correction, it's not Midlands Small Businesses, it's Midlands Businesses.
Okay, my mistake.
Micro businesses to multi-billion-dollar companies.
Yeah, I must have misread that or remembered it wrongly. So yeah, I apologize. So Midlands Business Awards.
My passion didn't just start with this project. It goes back quite a few years before. There's part of me I don't understand where it comes from. Look back to my ancestors. There's my cousin brother who's a real entrepreneur, very successful, and going back even great or great grandfather, they believe he was a bit of an entrepreneur in his time. So there's something within me which drives me. I started entertainment agency back in '80s, and that was something driving me, and had that successful. And then I moved away from there, joined my brother in his shoe retail business. After 10 years, there's something still knocking me in the back of my head, and I did other things. I won't go into that, but when this opportunity came, it was out of the blue, really, and it was then an idea of, right, I've been promoting comedians, bands, and so on, singers, but now it's the same process, but promoting and celebrating wealth creation and wealth creators. You have, I believe, I've been to lots of different awards schemes. In my opinion, I'm not saying I'm right, in my opinion, lots or most of the award schemes, they have a dinner first, and award seems to be tagged along. I always wanted to create a platform which is, it's all about wealth creators celebrating their success, and to build a platform where we can celebrate regional success. So that's the reason why we say Midlands. It's Midlands as a whole region. And it's a big geography-wise, big area, part of the country. So that's basically what this is all about. This is all about very generic. Whoever is successful in the region, there's a platform for you to come and share your success story. So the idea was to build a platform like the Oscars. I mean, the film stars have a massive platform. You have golfers, you have racing, but we don't have a platform for the entrepreneurs or the wealth creators, people who really makes the communities tick. So, and I've been, this is our 13th year, and I question constantly, why not? So my dream, my passion is driving me towards creating that and have a real platform for whatever field you come from. It doesn't matter, you know, we want to give you that platform.
Okay, and Harj, this leads me to another question. You talked about ancestry, you talked about your grandfather and your great-grandfather, and the question in my mind was, do you think that this entrepreneurial spirit comes from our, you know, our genetic makeup? Is it something which we're born with, or is it something that we learn as a skill? You know, like traditionally in our culture, there were people who, you know, some of us are great at being farmers, others are great at being goldsmiths, others are great at being entrepreneurs. Do you think that there are these natural tendencies, or do you think it's a skill like any other, and that, you know, it's something that we can all learn?
Well, I believe it's not everybody can be an entrepreneur, and not everybody can be a businessman or person. So entrepreneur is something that's part of you, because you need that drive to see you through the obstacles, which are many, constant challenges. Unless you're strong enough and your belief is strong enough, it just won't happen. You've got to make it happen. That's the difference. And you can only do it because you really want to. It's part of you. It doesn't let you rest because that's what you want to do. So yeah, I believe it's part of you. You can't, maybe small percentage of people who are very systematic, they can read books and then follow step by step and then try to do things. But generally, I would say it's a part of, you've got to be part of you.
And also to do with the support structure, because, you know, if you're born into a family where your uncles and your aunts are entrepreneurial, you will have that support available to you. Whereas if you're born into a family where everyone's traditionally had a job, a safe job with a you know, small but steady income coming in, then you won't have as much support for taking risks and seeming to not be making any money for years.
Again, I would say having that support around you, people who are closely linked, or family members who already are successful entrepreneurs or whatever you want to call it. But I still think it's got to be from you. You can have all the support around you. If something inside you doesn't make you tick, then you will not succeed. You have to have that drive. Do you want to do this? So yes, it helps if the people around you are there. It's easy to get some advice or not, but it's still it's got to be you. Unless you believe in it, you want to make it work. Even though you can have, I mean, I'm lucky, I've got lots of people around, but I also have lots of people say, that will never work. What are you doing? So you got to say, no, it will work. It's working. And I can see some evidence it's working, and it will work. And that's the difference. I think that's.
Yeah, because even entrepreneurs can be totally enthusiastic and passionate about their own ideas, but someone else's idea, which is alien to them, they might not be as encouraging of other people's entrepreneurial ideas.
Exactly. Very true. Yeah, so I was talking to I don't remember the name, but the chief exec of Morgan Cars many years ago. We went to interview, and he said the same things. We said, why do you do it, and what makes you a successful businessman or entrepreneur? And he says, you got to have an idea, and you got to believe in it strongly, and then you have to get the right team around you. and then you got to drive through all the obstacles when everybody else says this will never work, and you show them because you're so driven.